Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. D.D. Swai, Director at Rajalakshmi School of Business, Chennai, India. After December 2019, because of COVID-19, the entire world is struggling and suffering a lot. When you talk about education system, to continue the educational momentum, each and every country has gone into the online mode from the offline system. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'll be going to talk about 3 mistakes students commit in online education. The first one is presentation skill, the second one is technical skill, the third one is communication skill. Now let us discuss these 3 mistakes in detail, and at the end I will be going to give you the techniques how to handle these mistakes so that you'll be effectively navigating in online education system. The education system has transitioned from offline to online, but our student community has not been able to transition perfectly and effectively from offline to online. Now, if you ask anybody, whether a student or faculty, how do you like online education system? The instant reply will be, oh, it's boring, it's not that great, or because of pandemic we are forced to do this. Why? Because you are not able to transition properly from offline education to online education. Now, there are some new etiquettes you have to have in online education. And now, what are those? Let's have a discussion. I will talk about 3 main etiquettes which you need to have to improve your presentation skill in online education. The first etiquette is to switch on your video. That's very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the students give excuse of bad internet quality, but these excuses are not acceptable. If there is a really poor internet quality, or you are sitting in a rural area where internet facility is poor, it's acceptable, but you have to manage that, because now most of the companies are doing interviews on Zoom call or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams. So it's very important to switch on your video. When you switch on your video as a student in a class, then what happens? This gives motivation to the faculty also, because it's a responsibility of the faculty and students to create a class ambience just like an offline class in an online class. Otherwise, what will happen? You will feel bored because you are not seeing each other and you are not communicating properly. So the first thing you need to see to improve your presentation skill in online education is to switch on your camera. The second one is you have to communicate with your peers and with your faculty. It's very, very important, because if you sit idle throughout the class, then what will happen? It will not only hamper your brand equity, your brand positioning, but also it will create boredom for the faculty and students. So it's a responsibility not only from the faculty side but also from the student side to create that offline kind of class ambience in online, because it will going to stay, not only because of COVID-19, but this has got many advantages as well. We will discuss about advantages of online education in a separate video. The third important thing which you need to do is to dress well, because in online education what happens, students stay very, very casual in front of the camera with t-shirt and the casual dress wears. This is not acceptable. As I'm a professor in a management institute, it's very important for me as a teacher to dress well even in online platform, and the same goes for the student, because dressing matters. I'll give an example. If you dress casually, you will carry a casual approach, and if you're casual in the education, then at the end of the education you'll become a casualty. So it's very important for students and faculty both to dress properly and dress well. I'm not asking you to dress lavishly, but you need to dress well, especially in management education in particular, and rest of the educations in general. So 3 things that is very important to improve your presentation skill. The first one is switch on your camera. Second one, you need to communicate inside the class. The third one is you need to dress very, very well. Cell phone is not the most convenient way of approaching an online class, because you need a big screen to view what the teacher is teaching, and you also need to see a big screen where other student colleagues are there. especially in management education, interaction with the colleagues is very, very important. So for that reason, you need to know a couple of technical skills about online education. The first one is, if you're appearing in Zoom platform or Google Meet or Microsoft Team or any other platform, including customized platforms, it is very important for you as a student and a faculty to have proper demo knowledge about the platform. It's very, very important, because when you operate, suddenly, a faculty will give you Google Classroom and students are finding it difficult, or students are very comfortable and faculty is not very comfortable. So in that scenario, you can learn from each other. You can learn behind the screen about Google Classroom to handle your classroom properly. So it's very important to hone your technical skills, especially in the platform where the teacher is teaching and where the students are learning. That is number one. The number two things inside the technical skill is placement of your laptop, placement of your camera, placement of your cell phone, placement of your iPad or tabs. It's very important to have a fixed setup, in a particular platform, because that gives stability. I have seen students both in higher education and secondary education and primary education not able to handle cameras and gadgets properly. Primary education, it's okay, they are learning, but it's not acceptable in higher education, that too in management education, where students look very, very shabby in handling the cell phone or the tab or the iPad or the laptops. So it's very important that you should be comfortable with the gadget and the placement of the gadgets. The third mistake what students are committing in online education is all about communication skill. If there is a 60 minutes class, you will see 95% of the students are sitting like a dumb. Either their mobile camera is switched off, or their laptop camera is switched off, or iPad or tab camera is switched off. And they are doing lot of things behind the screen. They might be chit-chatting with the colleagues in WhatsApp. They might be sending informations, classroom, and they will be doing other activities like brushing, might be moving inside the home, might be taking breakfast. I mean, this is not the way students should approach online education, because you're too casual, and if you're casual, you'll become casualty at the end of the day when results comes into the real world scenario. So it's very important that students should follow a couple of guidelines to improve their communication skill in online education. Number one, they need to have solid preparation, because online demands that crisp interaction, that solid preparation as compared to the physical class, because in physical class you have time to ask an extended question for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and the faculty and your colleagues have patience. But in online platform, your question need to be crisp. You need to throw the question within 10 to 20 seconds, or might be 30 seconds. So you don't have that 5 minutes question time. So if you are not well prepared with your academics, it's very difficult to interact with your colleagues or with your teachers. So the first thing which you need to improve your communication skill is to interact with your colleagues and faculty, but for that you need solid academic preparation. The second communication mistake which normally students do in an online platform is they are very, very uncomfortable in speaking, from their side. They don't take initiatives. When I say they don't take, it means I'm talking about student community in large. That doesn't mean any specific student. So this is a generic observation. So I will request students to take initiative in online class and to speak from their side. In a webinar, it might be difficult, but still, you need to communicate. But otherwise, how you'll be going to create a point of differentiation in a crowded platform? Suppose a webinar has been attended by 1,000 people and you are also there. If you cannot talk to the web host or the guests, you can at least send SMS if there is a facility of chat box there and chat box is allowed, because you need to create that unique selling proposition which is visible to the people in online platform, because that will create a point of differentiation for you. So ladies and gentlemen, it's very important in online platform to communicate well with solid academic preparation. And the third important thing in improving your communication skill in online platform is to improve your English communication. You might say, sir, we have our national language Hindi. That's fine. This video is meant not only for students in India but also in the entire world. So that's the reason I'm telling English communication has to be very, very clear, lucid and good, because that's an international language. With the online platform coming into existence, now you are not sitting only in India, but simultaneously you are accessing to the entire education system in the world. So most of the education system is delivered in English. So it's very important for you to improve your English communication skill. Now, it cannot happen overnight. So for that reason, students need to prepare well behind the screen before approaching a particular session. Especially this is true in management education, because even, I will give an example how English knowledge is very important. Now, all the interviews are conducted online by companies across the globe. So if you have a poor communication skill in English, then what will happen? You will take long time to justify a particular point to the employer, and employer doesn't have patience because there are another 50 candidates waiting. So it's very important for student community to improve their communication skill, especially with English language. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the three mistakes what student community is committing. The first mistake is presentation skill. The second is technical skill. The third one is communication skill. I'm sure this video will be going to change the entire understanding of students towards online education. Online education is going to stay here. There is no harm. It has got tremendous benefit, but it is only possible to encash maximum benefit of online education when students are well prepared. So, ladies and gentlemen, wish you all the best for the online education. Online education is going to stay in the world, might be in the form of blended learning. So you need to ensure that you are good in presentation skill, you are good in technical skill, you are good in communication skill. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Bye-bye.